Thank you everyone for holding that energy together, and invite everybody to send a thank you out to everybody else. So although there's it varies, but there's an average, there's about 30 of us around the world, and as I say, there's always another 30 or more that join us during the week or next week from the video that is on YouTube and through the website. So outside of time and space, we are a really large group that extend round the earth. So we come to this place of where I can bring questions, and I know Carleen has already got a question, but also I want to say that if I was you, I would be extremely angry with me. Okay? So if I was you, why would I be angry with me?
To me, Christine.
No, sorry, no, love, no.
Okay.
I'll come to you in a minute. No,
Okay.
I didn't mean that at all. No, I was saying that I would come to you. So all of you, yes, all of you, you would be, I think you should be very angry with me. If I was you, I'd be very angry with me. Because right at the beginning, we came up with a subject, and then I kind of said, well, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to give you the information around it. We were talking about the deep underground bases, and I said, well, actually I've said that most people don't want to know, and all the rest of it. So if I'd have been you, I'd have been saying, excuse me, you know, don't you act as some authority as to what I want to know. So if anyone is feeling very put out that information was not shared, then if you wish to wait on the call until after we've had the opportunity for the questions and answers, if you want to know, I'll absolutely tell you. Okay? And in as much detail as you want. Okay. So Carleen sent me an email during the week, and she sent me a copy of a drawing that she'd done some time ago. And I said that it was difficult to actually write an email about it, and it'd be much easier to answer the question actually, you know, on the call. And one of the reasons I wanted to share this with everyone is to say that I really invite you to be very childlike, and if you feel inspired to write some very simple poetry, to draw a picture, to do something like that, then that is a beautiful way in which you just ground your soul, your higher self, and connections to whatever you might be connected to. And that kind of playfulness and spontaneity is incredibly valuable. But often we will have some story, oh, you know, I can't draw properly, or this might not be right, or I haven't time. And we're very good at telling our stories. So I want to just celebrate Carleen by saying well done for your spontaneity. And
Well, thank you.
I encourage everyone to, you know, to take that as a guide, kind of thing. So you did say it was okay to share. Is that okay?
Of course, yes. Please share.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I will try. Which I will do. I don't do trying. We either do it or we don't in these worlds. Okay. Okay, so it's as it was arrived as an email. So it's a bit like a dream, Carleen, in that it's coming from the subconscious or coming from other levels of consciousness. So the deepest meaning is what it means to you, which I'm sure you know anyway. But the symbols are, there's a lot of deep meaning behind the symbols. This in here, I would interpret these yellow lines here and other lines going round. I can't see, like a spiral.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't, yeah. So that's obviously a vortex, but it also, what words to use? To me, it invites me to think of the Vesica Pisces. And the Vesica Pisces, although it isn't that, if the lines, it just invites me to see that. And the Vesica Pisces is part of sacred geometry. And the fact that you've done all of these star tetrahedrons, which are one of the foundations of sacred geometry, and it is all patterning. That's why. Now, the Vesica Pisces is a very special shape, and it's, if I had to bring this over here, it would come to there. And that is actually what Jesus referred to as a fish, and Pisces, Vesica Pisces. So it's very much Christ energy. And it's also very much Christ energy because the star tetrahedron, or the six-pointed star, or the Star of David, all of those are a symbol of, you've got a triangle coming down, and you've got a triangle going with a point down going up. So the triangle going point top going down is a symbol of us holding divine energy. That is the Trinity, and whatever way you want to describe the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or everybody has it and describes it with different words, but that is the divine creation being held in this lower triangle, which is being held in 3D. So it represents the purpose of incarnation, the purpose of humanity, our anchoring of the divine into manifestation on the earth, which is very much parallel to what I was saying in the introduction of a vision, holding a vision for the future for the new earth. This is the model of how angelic Reiki were doing it, bringing the divine soul connection down into manifestation here. This feels very well. There's a lot. It also feels to be a lot of flow and water. This here, this shape, it's also mirrored here as well. And interesting again that it's is 3. So I would, that's again what I will be seeing. But apart from that, it's I just invite you to see, to feel what it feels like to you. But that's what I see, and I think the greatest gift is you doing the process of just being spontaneous and bringing that and just creating that. So well done.
Wow, thank you so much, Christine.
Okay, yeah,
thank you.
What happens
I'm
when
grateful.
We'll do it, that's what's there. Yeah,
thank you.
My pleasure.
I drew it without knowing what I was drawing.
Absolutely.
Just came.
So you drew what Carleen didn't know, but you on higher levels knew exactly what you were doing, and that is the gift of working spontaneously like this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so has anyone come with any questions? Good night, Cheryl. Bye-bye. Okay, no? All right. So I just to say that I am willing to answer the question that I bypassed earlier because it wasn't appropriate to answer it then, and we needed to get on with the main part. So if you want to be in on the answer, stay. If you feel that it's not appropriate for you, you don't want it, you don't want to know, you don't need to know, etc. Why have I done that? Sorry, I was just looking at, then, please stay. Good night, Manisha, it's your bedtime. It's past your bedtime. Thank you for joining us. Manisha is in Dubai.
Thank you, Christine. Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Lovely to see you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So it's about 2 a.m. I think. Okay. So you're all here. Okay. Oh, you going? All right, Nikki. Bye-bye. Sweet dreams. Bye-bye. So, oops, other people are going. I've had enough. They're off to bed. So Anita asked a interesting question during that time. She said, why does the government, if it knows, all the time saying, and how can it not know that? Why does it do what it does? And the answer is that the level of mind control, bribery, and honeypots is greater than we would ever imagine. Now, mind control is a technique. It's a very, very ancient technique. It was developed and refined by the Nazis during the wars, and it is very easy to do. It's being done on mainstream media are not on our side. Mainstream media belong to. Yeah, can I do the whole talk and then?
You're still recording. I don't know if you want to record this.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I am recording it. Yes. I'll think about it, and if I feel that I don't want to publicize it, then I'll just delete it. But if I think I can get away with it, I will. So there has been for a very, very long time a group of extraterrestrials that had lost their connection to source, to life, to the divine, and needed us to be that connection, to sustain them. And they have a plan to not just do that, but to create us as their slaves and as their divine food. And that's the long story. The shorter story is that their tools to do that have sunk into, have become incorporated in, and work with every part of our life. Our education system is not an education system anymore. It is a mind control system to serve authority. That's why everybody puts a mask on, because daddy tells them, authority tells them. Anybody that thinks for themselves goes, that piece of cloth can't stop a virus. And anyway, there's a space next to my nose. But no. So our education system is designed to stop independent thought. Our courts, our judicial system are not what you think they are. They are a business. They're somebody's, a corporation's industry for making profit. Fines are their profits. They're not to keep the law. Our pharmaceutical industry is designed to make us ill so they can make more money. So everyone that works for these, whether it's local government, banks, schools, local authority, it's 30% of the population are actually working for this, what's called an agenda. So how do they get, as we saw in America, when there isn't a court, there isn't a court in America that will hold a fair trial. Okay? How can that be? What is it? What is this great control that anybody can have over somebody else? And it's blood. It's blood sacrifice, and it's giving our blood. So where does the blood come from? Okay? It comes from children who are farmed under the earth. They have never seen the light. They are kept in cages. They are tortured so that they will create something called adrenochrome. That is blood filled with adrenaline. It is likely that within your neighborhood, there is somebody who lives on adrenochrome. This is the purpose for these deep underground bases. Adrenochrome is what most of the so if they can get you on adrenochrome, you can't come off. If you come off, you die, because it becomes a substitute live stream. But it is only produced by tortured children, because that is the adrenaline that gets into the bloodstream. This is how people can stay young, and it's how they can keep people alive. And all the time, whatever comes up, it's like, this can't be true, this can't be true. So the other mechanism is paedophilia. So when the people who have a lot of money, or are royalty, or heads of government, they are only there because of extreme ego. That ego, one of the ways that ego lives out is they believe they're just above everything. They're so special, they can do what they want. And when it is organized so that they can fulfill any fantasy that they have. All of that is filmed and is used in bribery. And one of the ways that Donald Trump managed to create that during his life, during his reign, or sorry, during his presidency, that there was no wars, was because the NSA in the United States had hacked all of these films of paedophilia and could bribe anyone, Saudi Arabia, Israel, anyone. It's like no more wars or this film goes out. There is also a lot of experimentation, in military experimentation done, because these are the DUMBs, the military bases, but that covers all of the DUMBs. So there's some very strange things that's been going on around the White House in the United States. What has actually happened is that probably under all of our government buildings, but I don't know that, but it's, you know, I put a bet on it, but definitely under the White House and under some other significant buildings in the District of Columbia, which is an independent country within the United States. They had to, the tunnels and labs and experiments that were going on under there, they have now brought all the children out and they've cleaned it up and they've actually flooded it. And the strange things in around there, the level of a river is higher than it's ever been. It's flooding, you know, for no reason. And they keep putting different fences around. There's times when there's never any lights on in the White House. They've started boarding up the windows. Interesting, they've done exactly the same with Buckingham Palace. But they've cleaned all that out. There has been earthquakes kind of things about 10 meters down, 10 meters, 10 kilometers, I can't remember. And these earthquakes that are picked up on, you know, on whatever the thing is that picks up that kind of earth movement, they're actually good people taking out these DUMBs. And a lot of what, you know, the thing that's been in the front of the news recently, not immediately, but, you know, kind of January, February, March, was Myanmar, and how the military took over Myanmar. And there's been a lot of those underground bases taken out, and they have, I think it was George Soros was funding all of that, and the military have actually, whatever it's called, they've taken his bank account, they've taken his money, and it is all the money that was coming into Myanmar from him. These people fund this kind of thing. So the underground bases are to breed children, to create what can own our blood, which is what can keep these people that have lost their souls alive. And they are the people that bribe and control our governments. And it is beyond belief. The people that have seen it say, just don't. It is so grotesque. It's virtually impossible to take the image from your mind again. But there are very, brave people, and they're usually special operation officers in the American military that actually go down into these places and do the rescue operations. And there are people, I'm part of angelic Reiki people, that psychically and in the fourth dimension do this work as well, but they do it on the astral plane. They don't physically go down. So that's part of the work that people in the angelic Reiki family are doing. And they'll do things like wake up in the morning and just feel exhausted and bruised and physically unwell. But they're working on that astral plane, not the physical plane. Okay. So thank you for listening. Has it brought up any questions? Just know that so what this does for me is like, because you see, this agenda to rule us, the way they are dumbing us down to implement what they want is the tool for it is the vaccine. So for me, you know, what this kind of information does, you know, when I say, as I sometimes say, you know, I will hang myself before they give me a vaccine. That's why, because I will not support anything that is so warped and foul and ill, and there aren't words. So that creates in me zero tolerance. And that fire. And it also gets us over this idea that everything is love and light and all the rest of it. This is the dark. That is the wake-up call. No government tells me what to do. I am sovereign. And nobody puts anything in my body that I don't put in it. And this is the power that we're being invited to live by. And this is the autonomy and sovereignty that is demanded of anyone who has the idea that they want to live on the fifth dimension or anywhere else. Submit to somebody else's rule, you're not sovereign. And this is all Metatronic, because Metatronic energy, Metatronic principles, if you look at Metatron's cube, it's absolutely precise. You can't move an angle, extend a line, or change it in any way. It is divine law. Divine law has no compromise. And if we live by divine law, we have no compromise either. And we have collectively as humans become utterly subservient.
Christine, if somebody has been vaccinated, is it going to affect their energy field? And if I go near their energy field, is that going to affect me?
Yes. It will act, it'll have a vampiric effect. And this is something I need to, so I need to have a workshop or something because first of all, this information missing. I can't. Yeah, I can't. I knew it, but I didn't know it how I know it now. That needs to go in the causes of disease in the professional practitioner manual. There is also great considerations that I need to think very carefully about. If somebody isn't sovereign, and if somebody is not connected to their higher self, their soul, can they do a healing? Can they do angelic Reiki? Can they be a master?
I was just thinking, because my brother, his wife, and a couple of my friends have actually hugged me, because we don't believe in all this distancing and whatever, but they have been vaccinated, and I was just concerned that their energy fields will have affected my energy field by doing that.
Yeah. Yes. And it's a very subtle thing. It's very important we don't drop into victim, and we don't drop into better than, and etc. This is something that a woman called Magenta Pixie has brought forward and talked about, and what she is suggesting is working with black crystals as part of the protection.
Oh yes.
Dana?
So am I doomed?
Oh, totally. You've had it, Linda.
I was just thinking, then if we get a client, how do you go about? I'm overwhelmed right now.
Yeah.
Because we cannot refuse, reject the client. How it's,
Well, I need to leave you to contemplate that. So Dan, I'm going to ask Dana, you had a question. Dana, you had a question?
That was the question. I said, if we get a client, right? Then how do we screen for, pretty much, I only know, people I'm surrounded by, the closest one, they are the same,
Well, yeah, I'm going to leave you with that, Dana. Are you a master teacher?
I'm not a master teacher. I just, I have all three. I took all the levels with Colleen. And I have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been practicing a lot.
You've had the master attunement. We've got to come into our mastery, sort it out. Anita, you had a question?
Yes, I did. Before we talked about what you just spoke about, you mentioned something about after all those people who've had the double dose of the vaccine, something like genocide. So will there be a time after a certain amount of years then when everybody who's had the double vaccine will just die?
Probably, possibly. I don't know. But there is also a way that if somebody has the integrity, determination, and willing to really use the truth and warrior energy, etc., if they, in spite of it all, can raise their consciousness and say, please, I want to reconnect, there are energy ways of reconnecting. And remember, angelic Reiki is about connection to soul self.
So we can radiate light with the intention of healing. Yeah. Thank you.
It's about coming into our power.
Yeah. Oh, what a lot of information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet dreams.
Yes.
Thank you, Christine.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.